Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bhavdeep Ahuja here. I'm back once again with one of my short videos. Again, this video is in the format of queries received from a few members. Recently, I took a webinar on the basics of medical legal ethics and informed consent. So there were quite a few queries raised on the consent part, which I would like to actually bust the myths about. So the number one query which I received in that was, do we need a consent for sharing patients' intraoral photos? Let me put it very clearly. For sharing any of the patient's extraoral pictures, treatment pictures, or patient's face pictures, or facial profile, side profile, frontal profile, you surely need to have the written consent from the patient. What I advise is that even if the same is to be shared on social media, the same should be mentioned in the consent from the patient. We see so many cases being shared every day on social media by many well-known colleagues. Unfortunately, they forget to blind the patient. What I recommend is, even if the patient says yes to sharing the photos, still the patient's eyes should be blinded so that those are not visible, the identity is not revealed. So in case of extraoral pictures or treatment pictures otherwise. So when it comes to intraoral pictures or radiographs, yes, you can share them without even the patient's consent, without, of course, because those pictures actually will not reveal the patient identity, because we are bound by the medical legal ethics basics. The basic says the confidentiality has to be maintained between the doctor and the patient. Ultimately, it is a contract between the doctor and the patient, so the same needs to be maintained. So I would request all my colleagues who share the treatment pictures in social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, wherever, kindly do blind the patient and make sure that you have a written consent from the patient for sharing those on the social media, because ultimately it is about the breach of trust between the two. Then the similar query was, do we need a witness signature for an informed consent? Yes, surely. A witnessed consent carries more value in the court of law. The 4 signatures are mandatory on that for a witness consent. The number 1 is the doctor, the number 1 treating doctor, of course. The number 2 is the patient. The number 3 is patient accomplice, patient's kith, kin, neighbor, friend, relative, spouse, whosoever, or even the child if he's a major one, he or she is a major one. And of course, the doctor's accomplice. These 4 signatures will actually make the witness more credible in the court of law. And at this point of time, I want to debunk another myth. For example, if you have a consultant or an associate in your practice who is treating a particular case, trust me, irrespective of whosoever signs on the consent. For example, you have an endodontist visiting you or an in-house associate who is doing root canals. Irrespective of whosoever signs in the place of treating doctor on the consent, the final responsibility lies on you, because it is the patient who's walked into your practice who has chosen you, and not the patient has chosen you, not the associate. You delegated the work or outsourced the work to the third party, or in this case an associate. Nothing wrong about it, of course, but under the head of vicarious liability, any mistake done by your colleague or your associate or your consultant, the final onus is on you. I think that should settle all the myths about, because many colleagues involved कि मैंने तो साइन किए ही नहीं है, मेरे एसोसिएट ने किए हैं तो वो फंसेगा. No, actually not. पहली बात तो एक कंसेंट साइन करवाने से कोई फंसता नहीं है. The only thing is that consent is basically a permission to touch the patient, which is actually expected from us in this curriculum. And the only thing that which can be punishable is the negligence part and not the consent part. Another query was, then the most common question is that sir, अगर patient कोई साथ में लाया ही नहीं हो तो, then who told you to start the treatment in the first sitting? Dentists usually are in a hurry to start the treatment on the first day. Patients कहते रहते हैं डॉक्टर साहब पैसे तो बता दो, and we sometimes कोई बात नहीं आंटी बैठो आप बाद में कर लेंगे. This is actually the start of an assumption process कि ये इतना चार्ज लग जाएगा, whatever the patient might presume. Sometimes you do a work worth 10,000 पेशेंट सेज मेरे को तो लगा 2 या 3 हज़ार में हो जाएगा at the end of the treatment, and then you have treatment woes. And of course, history taking part and other treatment planning part, case discussion, consent signing, all those have to be done. So how can you do all that in the first sitting? And many times maybe sometimes in some procedures you need to get up, especially in debilitated patients, you need to give a prior antibiotic cover as well. So you can't really start. The problem is that we are in a hurry to start कि थोड़ा सा कुछ करके पैसे जमा करवा लो, and that is where we actually commit a mistake. So the consent obviously has to be signed. If it is a long case, it might take a period of 2 to 3 to 4 sittings where you actually arrive at a consensus. Consent basically means the doctor and the patient decided were on the same page in the same sense at the same time, of course, before the treatment. So once you are on the same page, you have informed verbally everything, you tell the patient that you have to sign the same in the written consent form in the next sitting. So kindly bring your XYZ spouse, friend, relative, whatever it is. So you have to do that. Kindly don't do that because it is valid in the court of law as well if it is a witness signature. Because trust me, अगर patient को मुकरना है अपने concept से, अपने जो भी whatever he has said or committed to you, he'll need to think twice or thrice, because it is a witness consent. 4 people are party to it. 4 people are signing over there, and trust me, it is very difficult for the patient to go about that task. Then the point of digital consent. Digital consent is not at all valid in India. You still need to put signatures over it. Many colleagues even take a thumb impression instead of the signatures. Good enough, you can do that as well, but signatures are valid. People believe that signatures can be forged, but a thumb impression can't be forged. So that is like actually double filtering your already filtered milk. So it is a personal choice. Chhanch ko bhi phoonk maar ke peena, you can do that, nothing wrong in it. But when it is a witness consent, it is 4 signatures are there. You don't need to worry about this aspect. But if you want to be very much on the safer side, take a thumb impression instead of a signature. So I hope I'm able to debunk a few of the myths. Maybe a few more I'll be taking up in another video shortly. So kindly do stay tuned. A lot of videos coming your way in the form of webinars from 2nd May onwards. So, and I hope all those topics would be of particular interest to all of you. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Have a great day.